Hey folks, it's Patriot Nurse. In today's segment, I want you to come with me and I'm going to show you some of the free medicine that you can find out probably in your yard or maybe even in cities in areas that have been a little bit overtaken due to neglect. And these weeds have been historically used by peoples for thousands of years to help treat different diseases and to essentially help them stave off problems that resulted from everyday things, including wounds, animal bites, insect stings, things like that. So I want to take you with me and see if you can see some of these things in your own front yard or wherever it is that you live. More than likely, you'll be able to find at least one of them I'm going to show you today. So come along with me and let's get started. Here we go. Now I'm going to give you a recommended resource here. This book, I'll put a link in the description box below. This is Rosemary Gladstar's book here on medicinal herbs. Not only will it aid you in identifying herbs with pictures, of course, burdock, yeah, that's a good one, but also it will show you how to make herbal medicine in the time-honored way that a lot of peoples have throughout the years. So, where shall we start? How about right over here? These guys right here, you've probably seen them in yards. There is an ornamental in the pink variety. This herb slash weed is called yarrow, and its name, its botanical name, includes the term millefolium, which literally means 1,000 leaves, and that's because of these guys right here. There's it's seemingly 1,000 little leaves right here. But yarrow was used in ancient times. Roman soldiers actually used to use it, and then we got some sorrel growing in there. Roman soldiers used to use it to help stave off bleeding on the battlefield, but it is also a fever-reducing herb. It was used in olden times to help bring people's fevers down, and it's quite effective at that. People don't tend to like it because it's pretty stout as far as its taste. You may get a little bit of pushback from your kids, but it has been one of the things that historically has worked. Now this herb right here, this is your longleaf plantain. This is a weed, and if you've got any children in soccer, then you have definitely seen this because it grows on the soccer fields left, right, and center. And it's funny though, because a lot of the common complaints of children who play in soccer is that they get stung by bees or they get bitten by insects or whatever the case may be. In old times, if you got stung by a wasp or a hornet, or you got bitten or stung by ants, then what you do is you'd break off one of these leaves here, and then you'd mash it up like chomp, chomp, chomp with your teeth, and then with it being bruised as such, you would apply it onto the sting and to the wound. I've actually used it personally with myself to great effect when I unwittingly put my hand in a wasp nest a few months back, and it was quite helpful in alleviating the pain and also reducing the swelling. Now there's a wider leaf plantain that is a different variety of this. And here is your wider leaf plantain. It's a broadleaf plantain. So we've got right here the thin leaf plantain and the broader leaf plantain. Both of them have been historically used to treat bites, poisoning, stings, things like that. And what's interesting is all of these are growing within a given area. They tend to grow together in patches. Now what you've also seen here, of course, is clover. This is your white clover. Now clover is used historically as a lymphatic system tonic, and in alternative medicine nowadays it's used to stave off and to help adjunct therapies with breast cancer. So that's one of its uses that it has. Coming right along over here, this is dandelion. Here's the interesting thing about dandelion. This is one of the best dietary wood sources of potassium. And potassium is really important as an electrolyte. And you'll find that in people who have had bouts of diarrhea or who've been sweating a lot, that they tend to lose that potassium. And potassium is really important as a regulator of your heart rhythm. And so you start to see when people have potassium shifts that their heart rhythm gets messed up. And dandelion here, in addition to being these leaves being edible, flowers are edible as well. The root itself is very rich in not only potassium but calcium as well. Really good if you're in a pinch and you've got to maintain those potassium electrolytes. Good thing to have. Now this guy right here is your burdock, and it looks kind of similar. For those of you who've ever grown rhubarb, it looks kind of similar to rhubarb, but rhubarb has a true red on the stalks. This does not. And the center stalk of burdock will send up this big tall thing full of cockleburs. And if you've ever had goats, you will know that they love to get them in their fur and in their beards. If they have billy goats, had a billy goat named Ted who loved to bring home cockleburs. But burdock itself is a really has a strong history of medicinal use as a lymphatic tonic and also as a liver and kidney tonic as well. The root itself, if I was to pull this thing up, God help me, you know, it's pretty, the roots go down really, really far, but you typically will pull them in the fall. And the roots to burdock are typically dried, and you can make a decoction out of them, which the book actually alludes to, that Rosemary Gladstar book. But this is one of the traditional medicinal treatments for smallpox, and I feel like there's one more. I think for scarlet fever, if I'm not mistaken. But this is an overall purative tonic. This great big giant leaf thing that grows in your fields, if you've ever seen it, that's one of the historical uses for it, was a lymphatic cleaner and also a historical treatment for smallpox. And these, if you have them on the edge of your fields, you probably are trying to get rid of them, and that is either blackberries or raspberries. And the red raspberry leaf, which this is not, this is blackberry, but the red raspberry leaf is a traditional women's health tonic. It was used in times past to help strengthen the uterus, to decrease the rate of miscarriage, to increase the efficiency of the uterine contractions and help labor to come on, and also to basically be shorter in duration. But any of these, the family of the brambleberries has the properties, primarily here in the leaves, there's rich deposits of calcium citrate. And for those of you who've ever taken either biochemistry or also nutrition, you'll note that when calcium is in the presence of a citrate, both of them are uptaken into the body more effectively. So you can see here, I've got some berries coming up here. But these are, again, just standard invasive weeds, or things that people find in their yard on their property that are mowed over or often just neglected, but they do indeed have quite a bit of medicinal benefit. Well, thanks for joining me here on this quick little herb walk / tour. I hope you found the information in the video helpful today. If you did, I hope you'll subscribe. If you are subscribed, put the little bell button on down there at the bottom. That'll make sure that you're actually getting these notifications. And also, you can support me on Patreon. I got a link in the description box below. Got a whole bunch of tiers there for you guys. I wanted to show you all some of the things that people overlook, medicine that's right there under their nose. So I hope it was helpful for y'all. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. For now, it's Patriot Nurse signing off, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.